folks jumped in to help make it happen with all the connections and everything. But as I've done for several years now, I'm extremely more delighted to introduce Ashley Sammons to kind of take it from here. Some of you newer folks, Ashley has been our go-to superstar contact at Talawanda for our four-way test, speech and hearing contest. And this year being somewhat different in that we didn't think there was a contest, so we decided not to do it. And about the time we decided not to do it, the district or Rotary International decided there was a contest. So we end up with our version of the contest and are delighted to have these young people with us who Ashley, I think, will introduce however she's planning to get that going. And we thank you again and appreciate all of your participation.
Yeah, thank you. And I know I had correspondence with Lee, but I mean, I'm happy to just introduce them if you want me to, or I don't want to step on his toes.
No, go ahead, Ashley. I could do it, but you're more qualified.
Okay, sounds good. So my students, so it is a little bit different than years past where we've done the Rotary four-way test speech with speech students. This semester, I actually am not teaching a speech class. So I reached out to the three ladies on the call with us who are in my English 2 honors class. So they are all sophomores this year. And basically thought of each of them because of writing that they had done for me during the first semester, which of course, most of which we were fully remote. So we study identity throughout the first semester, and we look at different pieces and different things that can impact a person's identity. And they wrote different pieces about that. They had to pick a topic that was important to them. So they'll each kind of share something a little bit different and unique to what they came up with to write about for the topic. So they are going to share it with you. But again, it's a little bit different because they are not speech students. So this is more of probably a creative writing showcase this year, I would say, than than kind of thinking about the tenets of the four-way test. So that's just a little bit of background on each of them. And then I assume we're ready to start. And I guess I'll just go, I know on the agenda, I think there was an order, so I'll just go with that order if that works.
Yeah, go. You're good to go, Ashley. Go
okay,
right.
Perfect. Great. So our first speaker is going to be Annmery Kato, and she's actually going to read a poem. I don't know if they know what order they were going in. She's like, what, me first? She's actually going to read a poem about identity as it relates to her identity as a person of color and an immigrant. And it also has it brings up climate change as well. So she's going to share that with you now.
Hi. So my name is Annmery, and sorry, my mom also wants to listen in, so she's listening in on my phone. Okay, my poem is called The Voices of My People, and it's about climate change and me and my island and how it's been affected. The Voices of My People. I was born in Wenochuk, a tiny island in the vast Pacific Ocean. We got our country's name, Micronesia, micro meaning small and nesia meaning group of islands. We are a little dot on a map kind of island, so small you could walk around it in one day kind of island, the kind of island where you knew everyone. It was a sea of brown all around. My backyard consisted of coconut trees, sunsets, and ocean breeze. From the outside looking in, it looked nice, but poverty poisoned my paradise. In preschool, I was taught about America, but I didn't understand how there could be a land out there beyond the horizon that stretched, never ending. Now, my backyard looks very different, but no different from yours. A hill that runs down to a creek, deer galloping by, weather that seems to have its own mind, streets upon streets, one of the 10% of minorities. I wasn't born here, but like a weed or invasive species, I buried my island roots down deep into the American ground. And if you were to uproot me, replant me where I was born, I would shrivel up and die. But I can't shake my past, it's still inside. I can't shake this skin of mine, and no distance or time can keep me from my people. I still hear the voices of my people drowned out by the rising sea. As the world warms up, they're the first in the line of fire, but yet their voices are unheard. Not in the conversations, their frustrations are met with, not in my backyard, not in my backyard. They're sinking in our problems, drowning in our woes. The oceans flood their taro fields, lapping at their toes, swimming in problems, just trying to float, problems they did not create. But oh yes, it's all a hoax, fake. I'm stuck in the middle, the problem and the victim. I'm the bridge between these two lands, crossing over oceans, uniting two worlds together. But something you must understand, bridges don't work if the foundation isn't built on solid ground. You can't support when you're being drowned. My people sink further and further until one day I'm afraid the damage will have already been made. With my words, I hope you hear. My fear is that you'll listen but not act. I know it's a hard fact to face, to swallow, but we can't hold it till tomorrow because our inaction is a distraction from the problems we face. When we face hard things, we cannot back down. We must be solid ground. We must all be bridges, and with our voices, we must lift up these sinking island nations, connect them to the important conversations, hear their frustrations, build a future for their future generations and our own. Leave it better than we found it. Watch what we emit. Education is the key to building those stable foundations. Listen, learn, and act. Let's make a solid pact that together as a nation will stand united, not divided, against a common enemy. Your backyard, my backyard, all backyards are on the same earth. This climate crisis isn't just sinking islands and melting ice. It's the fracking in Youngstown that's so close to our town that causes earthquakes to shake their fragile town. It's the deniers, the liars. We may not see the crisis as clear as ice is, but no matter how much we guard our own backyard, we are not safe. Who will be our lifeguards when our backyards start to sink? Who will throw out a line to help us stay afloat? Not the islands on the brink of going extinct, not the planet that we so cherish. The consequences are nightmarish. So before it's too late to reverse our fate, we should rethink our actions. The future is our own to create. I don't want to live in a world filled with hate. I don't want to live in the state that our country is in, the pollution, the corruption, the lack of dedication towards a better future, the lack of education towards our near future and what it beholds. We cannot keep on dumping our problems to the future leaders, our successors, like we dump 14 billion pounds of plastic each year and 5.1 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. As the future draws near, we must switch gears, because at a rate like this, I won't have an island to miss. We won't have a planet to live in if we keep doing what we're doing. For not just you, but all of us, protect our planet now, so those backyards of future generations won't be polluted like our nation. Let's create a world that isn't on fire. Let's inspire a change, rewrite our ending before it's too late. You don't have to be in power to empower. Change is building a bridge, reflecting on the past while connecting to the future, lifting up each other, standing solid under adversity. Let's all be bridges universally, connecting our nations through our problems, put down our walls to solve them. We are all humans. We all live in one backyard on the earth. Let's stop pretending that our planet's ending isn't drawing near. I don't want you to fear, but I must make you hear my people's screams for a future at all, really. I know it's a hard conversation to have, but people must hear the right narrations of the stories that don't usually get heard. Try to put them into your conversations, because I can't afford to lose my island nation. The voices of my people scream out. Do you hear that sound? Thank you.
All right. And I guess we'll just go straight to the next one, I imagine. And then if we have questions, I know somebody said something about asking questions afterwards. So our next speaker is going to do a short identity piece about the idea of home and about physical appearance. So we'll have Brooklyn Moore share her piece next.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn. My piece is titled Shaded Oak. It is about me growing up being quite tall compared to everyone else and how it kind of affected my life. So I'll go ahead and get started. 9 DeKalb Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. Lanky in splendor, gawking off with its 73 stories. A skyscraper yearning to reach the sky, desperate to taste the blue and the clouds and the birds and the plains. It reaches up into the highest of cabinets to bring down the plates and the mugs. A knight in shining armor, shielding from the villainous sun and the heat of the crowded and bustling city. Taxicab honking, a sore thumb. I was 9 DeKalb Avenue. I stuck out, tall, the pencil marks all the way up the door frame. Tall and a tool. The shaded oak tree you sit under to avoid cool weather and sun in the summer. The booming thunder and the golden lightning, safe under the tree. I was a human shield on the playground, used to protect in a game of tag or hide and seek. The mulch flying behind our swift heels. Jittery laughter. Hide behind Brooklyn when your crush walked by. Hide behind Brooklyn to avoid getting out of dodgeball. Hide behind. Hide and shield. I like to think I was being involved. I was the armor. Like a young tree with flourishing roots, my legs were long and forever growing. Growing pain's a constant curse. This curse landed me in the back. Albums of pictures, a shadow in the distance. The nosebleeds, just a whisper of the concert ahead. When the photographer taking our class pictures announced for us to line up in order by height, I was seldom far from the tallest, landing me a place in the furthest row on the highest step so I appeared even taller. Always the same situation. Family pictures, sports teams pictures, class pictures, any group pictures. My curse. The worn step stool. I was called to reach. Counters, shelves, tables. The things out of reach for them I could bring down. Can you grab my book? Brooklyn, grab the box up there. I need you to grab something for me. I can't reach it. I like to help, to put my legs to use. I could help others reach the monkey bars or a dodgeball that was stuck. Immune to the teases. They dangle my things over my head, but I am not affected. My height made me stick out, easily identified. More of a blessing than a curse, but not always a pleasant thing to have. Playing as a human shield was never my favorite thing. They weren't as frequent, the growing pains, and soon after, I wasn't used as cover as often. A blessing.
All right. Thank you, Brooklyn. And then our final speaker is going